Davis, Casey Jacobson in Champaign, and off we go in this top 25 matchup. A couple teams that don't like each other very much, meeting for the 166th time, and a lot at stake here.
Obviously interesting to keep an eye down low. How will Iowa guard Kofi Cockburn down low? Philip Rebraca, number 0.
An 87-83 Illinois win. They threw a bunch at Kofi Cockburn in that game.
They started in man-to-man defensively, but then quickly turned into a switching zone, and it really worked, helped them get back in the game. They ended up losing, but I expect to see a lot of switching defenses today.
Keegan Murray's first shot contested into the hands of Cockburn. So Illinois on Thursday beat Penn State 60-55, even though they only got 11 points from Cockburn. He only attempted 7 shots, his fewest this year. His first one today hits the front of the rim. A second try gets blocked. A third opportunity blocked as well. Williams comes out of it, and then it's knocked out of bounds, and it stays here.
I'm not sure how the home scorekeeper is going to mark this one. Is this 0 for 2, but 2 offensive boards? I would say so. Again, Kofi had 18 rebounds, a season high in Iowa City in the first matchup.
Williams picks up right where he left off on Thursday night. With all that attention on Cockburn, Williams took advantage with a season-high 14.
Penn State's game plan defensively was to sit in the lap of Kofi Cockburn, deny his touches, and they basically said, DeMonte Williams, we dare you to beat us, and he did. 14 points, his only double-figure scoring game of his career, which sounds crazy when you say it out loud.
Yeah, 155th game, first time that he led the Illini. Murray gets the defender to fly by. The Big Ten's leading scorer gets blocked by Cockburn. Trent Frazier back the other way. Over the top, Cockburn. He's got it, and an early 5-0 lead.
And Coleman Hawkins and Kofi Cockburn work on that pass every day, that high-low action.
Tony Perkins drops it in mid-range, and he has been so important for Iowa as they turn things around. Starting 4-6 in Big Ten play, he gets inserted into the lineup. They are 8-1 since.
That's big time, Tony Perkins. He's 6'4", 210, built like a running back, but he can play the point guard and the off guard. And you mentioned like him and Joe Toussaint have been kind of trading roles as starters and bench guys. And Fran McCaffrey is confident in Tony, but also Joe Toussaint. We'll see him a little bit later. Comes in, ton of energy, can also score it.
The other piece of that move with Perkins coming out of the lineup was Bohannon moving back to point guard. He's taken off from that point forward as well, as Perkins 3 rattles around and out, and it's cleared by Cockburn. Frazier gets bumped and fouled by Bohannon. Brad Underwood took over the program in 2017, and so that makes today an emotional day for him as well, because Trent Frazier and DeMonte Williams were here from day one. He says, I don't know an Illinois program without those guys. We're watching them play their final game here.
Now, what he and his staff have been able to do over the last 3 years has been really remarkable. He's guided this program to 43 Big Ten conference wins over the last 3 years. That's the most of any program in the conference. They haven't won a regular season title as Kofi Cockburn gets another touch and a foul. They haven't won a regular season title in that 3-year stretch of all those wins, but they have a chance tonight.
Last one was in 2005 for Illinois.
Well, I remember that 2005 team very well as we look at Kofi Cockburn's numbers. And those Big Ten rankings, that if we put up the national rankings, they look very similar. This Big Ten is so loaded with stars and big men, right? Hunter Dickinson, Trace Jackson Davis, and many more. But if I were to choose a player of the year in the Big Ten, I would probably say Johnny Davis, just because of how he was able to elevate Wisconsin this season. But Kofi Cockburn and Keegan Murray, 2 players in this game, have got to be number 2 and number 3 in any order you want.
Really is amazing how many guys you could make a good case for in the conference. Here's Philip Rebraca, the North Dakota transfer. Gives up his dribble and bounces it out of bounds. It had a bit of a sloppy start for an Iowa team leading the Big Ten for the third consecutive season offensively. More than 80 points per game for this club, which is two things that don't usually go together. It is up-tempo and it's efficient. They have the lowest turnover rate in the country.
Yeah, just 9 turnovers a game. You think about that and how many possessions they play with. It's hard to do.
Cockburn, second opportunity, couldn't hit it. Bohannon on the push for the Hawkeyes. Cockburn has him. Bohannon doesn't need much room. Here's Murray. Cockburn trying to keep up with him. Boy, Kofi drawing some tough assignments.
Oh, he's up for the challenge, though. He's been a much improved defensive player on the perimeter this season.
Murray fires away, offline. Long rebound, tipped out. Iowa's got it. Perkins, no. Murray follows with the slam.
How about the effortlessness that he springs off the floor with? I mean, that was really easy. Could have dunked that with his forehead.
As the rebound here on the Plummer miss. Bohannon, good vision. Ahead to Rebracha. Blocked from behind by Hawkins. Frazier splits the D and gets fouled. If that's Bohannon, that's his second.
Final Four, and Illinois is in it.
Wow.
Yeah, this team has been through a lot, and I don't even care what seed they get. Honestly, they have all the pieces. Not off to a great start tonight on senior night, and they're having a tough time guarding the three-point line. And Iowa is just, they're a challenge. They move the ball really well. They know exactly who they are.
That was Peyton Sandford, and they're getting a lot from their bench in this game, as they often do. One of the deepest teams in the country.
You already mentioned it. Fran McCaffrey, he absolutely loves this team, and his favorite thing, besides maybe Keegan Murray, is the depth. Sometimes he doesn't even know who's going to close out a game. He just goes by feel, whoever's playing the best. 10
players averaging double-figure minutes. And how about Sandford feeling it, stroking a couple of jumpers off of the bench and extending the run to 11-0.
Well, this offense is an equal opportunity offense. It's not like everything is geared around Keegan Murray. Sandford is taking advantage of lazy defense.
Back into Cockburn. Help defense rejects the shot. It was Keegan Murray coming across. Iowa has hit 8 of its last 9 shots. Here's Ulis getting fouled by Frazier.
Most block shots come from the weak side, not the strong side, right? And I don't even think Kofi Cockburn saw Keegan Murray at all. That's how you do it. You come from that weak side. That was going to be a double team. If he didn't shoot that, he was going to try and wall up there. It's so difficult to guard Kofi. You cannot do it with one person. It's got to be a group effort.
And then you got to hope that the other guys don't beat you. We've got several other guys that can go off for big nights. Perkins, a lot of contact, still able to finish through Cockburn.
They're trying. They got to do it on the defensive end. Some uncharacteristic, easy buckets. It's not like Iowa's making a ton of tough shots. They're just taking what the defense is giving, and right now the Illini are way too generous.
Trent Frazier still looking for his first point of the night. Gives it up to Hawkins. Frazier shares it with Curbelo. Tipped around. Cockburn finds it and puts it in. 11 of Illinois' 21 belong to Kofi Cockburn.
And it already has 8 rebounds.
Ulis drops it in.
And Iowa's just living in the paint right now, too. They're getting everything they want. Yeah, they've made a couple of threes, which has kind of stretched out Illinois' defense. Man, they're getting into all the gaps.
They've hit their last 8 shots. Here's Plummer ripping a 3. 90th of the season to lead the Big Ten.
Again, right in the paint, 2 feet in there.
Same thing for Perkins. He stops just past the foul line, gives it up to Murray, who's fouled by Hawkins.
And that ball was ping-ponging around in the lane. Eventually it's going to find the human sledgehammer, Kofi Cockburn. And their second leading scorer, Alfonso Plummer, averaging over 15 a game, gets a 3 to go. If you're think that was Tony Perkins. He had the defensive assignment. When you guard Alfonso Plummer, you have no help responsibility. I don't care what the coach says. You can't let that guy step into a three. It's like a layup for him.
There's a 7th foul on Illinois, so 1-1 here for Keegan Murray. Well, the last guy to put up these numbers was Alan Henderson in 1995. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. Talk about the offensive game, it's so well-rounded, but really the entire game is too. He's among the leaders in steals and in blocks in the conference. Curbelo rushes it up the floor to Frazier.
And he can defend too with that length. He not only uses it to score and rebound the ball, he can guard you.
Plummer, tough shot, stepping back and drilling it.
And so he has earned the right to take those shots with his efficient shooting. Nice pass.
Murray got behind Hawkins and finished.
Murray's so quick to the ball. I feel like a lesser athlete, that ball sails out of bounds. The feel. And also, the wingspan was on display there as well, Joe.
Curbelo feeding inside for Cockburn. All kinds of black shirts around him, but to no avail. And 13 for Kofi Cockburn. Already more than he had in the game on Thursday against Penn State.
I knew he was going to bounce back. Just 11 points against the Nittany Lions, who basically sold out and said there's no way Kofi's going to beat us today. Iowa does not have that game plan so far.
Murray against Hawkins, takes it down the lane. Shot was altered by Cockburn, but followed by Rabracha.
And Kofi Cockburn came to help. And blocking shots, Joe, is a risky proposition. If you don't get the block, you're completely exposing the backside of your defense. And that time they got burnt.
Curbelo lost the handle, got fouled. A lot of times it just looks like basketball is easier for him than it is for the other 9 guys on the floor. Curbelo had that one altered right at the rim. Good design from Brad Underwood, but they couldn't execute. Tony Perkins. And now Keegan Murray. Back to Perkins, who fires a 3 and knocks it down. Iowa has scored on 12 consecutive possessions. Is that efficient?
That's incredible, and I don't have this stat officially in front of me, but I venture a guess that no team in America this season has scored 12 consecutive times against this Illinois defense.
Cockburn kicks, Curbelo knocks down a 3 of his own.
That shot has been there in the first 18 minutes of this game, and he's got to keep the defense on. You don't want Curbelo to just keep jacking it up all the time, but occasionally when he's feeling it, he needs to take it.
And that's the thing with Illinois. It's not just Cockburn. Illinois leads major conference teams in threes made, with 9 of them per game. Bracha thought about trying one. Instead, puts it on the deck. Gives it up for Murray. Keegan stepping back, launching. Off the heel, long rebound to Hawkins. Trent Frazier back in there without a point so far.
And neither team has really been able to get out in transition. Just one fast break bucket per side. It's been a half-court affair.
Curbelo takes it to the rim, got blocked by Murray.
There's that defense I was talking about from Keegan. We've seen the offense, and watch this. Excellent job of blocking a shot without fouling. And waiting for Curbelo to show him the ball, and basically he served that one up on a silver platter.
Off the bottom of the backboard. A bit of a careless turnover from Curbelo there. Turnovers were the reason Iowa stayed in the game when these teams met up the first time in Iowa City. There were 18 of them committed by the Illini. It's a foul on Iowa. Goes on Keegan Murray, his first.
And does that break the streak? That shot, is that the first defensive stop they've had in 11 straight buckets?
Yeah, it's been like an hour. 1-1 coming here for Hawkins, who has not been a very good foul shooter overall this year, but hit all 4 at the line, including some big ones late to seal it against Penn State Thursday. You see a guy get more and more confident here in his first real full season of playing time.
I think he's a really important cog to this Illinois machine, especially as they roll forward into the NCAA tournament. Coleman Hawkins is one of those guys who needs to be a provider of energy. And it doesn't, you know, those numbers that you see on the screen, they don't jump off the page necessarily. But when Kofi was sidelined for the first 3 games of the season, Coleman Hawkins was averaging 14 points and 9 rebounds. So he has the potential in him. He's had a hard time trying to figure out his role alongside of Kofi. Like, hey, Brad Underwood coaches hard all the time, and his players know that. Coaches can only do what we just saw when they have built trust with the player. And look at, he's just putting Alfonso Plummer right back in the game.
Toussaint switches hands, couldn't finish with the left. Hawkins the rebound. Here comes Frazier in Illinois, down 10. Here in the end of this first half, playing for a share of the conference title. Cockburn has carried the load, as he so often does. Underneath, under the rim, tipped to the front for Goody, knocked away, and here comes Iowa.
Credit Tony Perkins with that deflection. He has been everywhere. It feels like there's been 2 or 3 of them out there.
Murray, left hand, no. Coburn's got the rebound, and he's close to a double-double in the first half. 13 and 9 for Kofi.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that, Joe? In the last 4 games, Kofi's just averaged 6.3 rebounds.
Crushing screen here, frees up Frazier, who's there for his first 2 of the game.
He's got to be more aggressive. I think he knows it, too.
Toussaint all alone. Holds on to it. Eight to shoot as they lob it inbound to Murray. Somehow corrals it. Here's Bohannon. Every part of the rim and then fell off. Shot clock turned off as Frazier brings it up. 1 on 4. Gives it to Plummer. Alfonso Plummer to the rim to lay it in. It's a 9-0 run for the Illini to bring this first half to a close.
Defense doesn't always come to mind when you think of the Iowa Hawkeyes. You saw they had 4 steals. They're #1 in the Big Ten in that department at almost 8 a game, 4 in the first half. They're well on their way again. Very active hands.
This is the end of the floor they're known for. #1 scoring team in the Big Ten for the 3rd consecutive season, above 80 points per game. Tony Perkins to Rebraca. Shot clock down to 5. Rebraca, size advantage on Williams. Offensive foul.
Really smart play there. Rebraca's complaining, but DeMonte Williams was just sitting, waiting on it. And he got low, and he waited for the contact right in the middle of his chest, and he goes down. Wasn't a ton of contact, but enough. And he's a star in his role. He's been a star in his role, Joe, for 5 years. DeMonte Williams, 5-year starter, along with Trent Frazier.
Brad Underwood says he wishes he could sign him to a lifetime deal. Trent Frazier lines it up, leaves it short. It was a 15-point lead at one point for the Hawkeyes, but Illinois finished that first half on a 9-0 run. Tony Perkins will have a chance to end that run at the foul line.
I disagree with this call. I don't understand why all this contact was created by Tony Perkins, and Kofi Cockburn sliding here. Watch. That is barely anything. I mean, if that's a foul on Kofi, then I can't wait to see how they're going to officiate when he gets the ball down low.
You said maybe the hardest player maybe in the country to officiate.
Yeah, and that's a good example, right? Because Tony Perkins, who I already mentioned, he's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's a sturdy guy, but even he bounces off of Kofi Cockburn like a bug on a windshield, and it looks like, you know, a foul every time. But Kofi was there.
It is Coburn's first. It's a 7-point lead for Iowa with the first point of this half. A lob for Kofi and an easy slam off the feed from Frazier.
Trent Frazier made that pick and roll decision off of one bounce, and that's what good pick and roll players do. They don't need 2 or 3 bounces to know where the help side is coming from.
Ooh, soft foul on Hawkins. Should we look back at the alley-oop?
Watch Trent Frazier. He's going to watch for the second layer of defense. Rebracha, you're too high. That's one bounce, and it's to the rim. And there's no way that Tony Perkins could help on that. And even if he was, he couldn't do anything about an alley-oop. That's what makes that play so effective.
He caught it with his forearms and still threw it down like it was no problem. Now, Iowa had the 43 points in the first half, and they did it almost entirely without Jordan Bohannon. Here's a follow dunk from Rebracha off the Murray miss. Bohannon had 2 early fouls, and so played only 4 minutes, hasn't scored.
Yeah, so 2 of the oldest players in college basketball and in the Big Ten, Trent Frazier and Jordan Bohannon, who have played against each other now for the 8th time. As Plummer misses a 3, neither one have really made an impact. I mean, Frazier made that nice assist, but offensively, just 2 points combined.
Murray leaves it short. Rebracha there for the miss. Iowa more than holding its own on the glass. Just -1 after Illinois out-rebounded them by 29 in December. Shot clock winding down. That's out of bounds off of McCaffrey.
And Illinois defense, the energy has picked up big time. It's pretty clear what Brad Underwood has been talking about with his group. That was absolutely a kick ball right off of the shoe of Connor McCaffrey. And when you're going against Trent Frazier, Brad Underwood calls him the best defensive player in the country. And some of the stats back it up.
Cockburn kicks. Williams rises and hits his second 3. Foul on the floor as Perkins goes by Hawkins. They're going to get Plummer.
Demonte Williams had a season-high 4 threes last game against Penn State. He's pretty confident right now. His confidence has been up and down all season. But, man, that was a practice shot. There wasn't a Hawkeye defender within 10 feet of him.
It looked a little more like Williams of last year, these last couple games, when he shot 54% from 3. 4-point game early on second half. Regular season finale for these top 25 clubs. Illinois trying to clinch a share of the Big Ten championship. Connor McCaffrey working for space. Here's Rebracha. His jumper wouldn't go. Offensive rebound Perkins. Back up with the left, no. 0 for 2 on this trip as Cockburn clears it. And now a double-double for Kofi Cockburn.
Clear out that side for Kofi. You get the switch to throw right down low.
Asking for it. Over the top, they give it to him. Bank shot, no. Offensive board, second try, yes.
And he threw that first one off the backboard with really no intentions of making the shot. It was more of a purposeful pass, a la Moses Malone.
Keegan Murray. Rebound Frazier. Frazier accelerates. Can't get the roll. Murray looks to counter. Ahead of the pack, Perkins gets his shot blocked. Gets it back. Bank shot, no. Loose, and Hawkins has it. Still loose, and now a foul. Looks like they're going to get Connor McCaffrey. They have come to life in Champaign.
These guys are giving the Orange Crush a lot to cheer about. Watch the Illini fly around. Coleman Hawkins coming out of nowhere, and then the guys just making multiple efforts. Finally, Kofi Cockburn joins that fight, and you could tell, like, you know, Iowa's missed a couple of shots around the rim that they were making in the first half. Let's be clear about that. But the defensive intensity and the activity, it's palpable.
That looked like somebody playing a video game just mashing the block button. 2-point game. Last time Illinois led was midway through the first half. Plummer draws the foul and will head to the line. 3 shots coming.
Fifth-year senior point guard in R.J. Cole, kind of like Illinois has the 5th-year senior point guard in Trent Frazier. Adama Sanogo was just named, along with Kofi Cockburn, to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar top 5 watch list for best centers in college basketball. Dan Hurley's UConn squad is pretty awesome. It's good to have them back in the Big East.
Cockburn takes a seat here. Alfonso Plummer looking to make it a 3-for-3 trip. He does, and Illinois leads for the first time since it was 17-16. Remember that 11-for-12 stretch for the Iowa offense? They followed that by hitting 1 of their last 13.
Well, there's one clear way to get off the offensive schneid if you're an Iowa Hawkeye. Get the ball to number 15, one of the best scorers in college basketball.
It's his brother Chris into the lane, working against Payne. With no Cockburn in the game, he's able to finish.
It's a good point. Without Kofi Cockburn, if I'm a player in this game and Kofi's on the bench, I immediately think, how do we get scoring at the rim? Because there's a pretty big drop-off. All due respect to the Illini front line.
Frazier turns, finds an open Plummer. Short this time. Rebound Keegan Murray. Bohannon looking for his first points. Halfway down and out. Tipped up and out. Boy, twice it went halfway down and came back out.
That's senior night. You can feel the breeze. Trent Frazier directing traffic.
Frazier launches. Boy, the rim's unkind, as Timmy B would say. On both ends of the floor.
These two teams have combined to shoot just 1 for 6 from 3 in the second half. And look at how close, like, man, he should have dunked that. Obviously, I mean, it's easy for us to say, right? We're over here. But, you know, Chris Murray, 6'8", super athletic. That's when you catch and rip the rim off the hinges.
Joe Toussaint gave him some great minutes in the first half. He's back in, controls here. Keegan Murray catching, shooting, there you go. Knocks down a 3.
That's it, almost 40% from deep is Keegan Murray. He really doesn't have a weakness. I can't even point to one. He can come off screens. You can run him in pick and roll if you want to at the power forward position. You can post him up.
Frazier stepping back, thought about letting it go. Instead, Williams down the lane. And an air ball into the hands of Perkins. Here's Murray inside. Contested by Frazier, but scores anyways. And the foul and a chance at 3.
Yeah, Keegan is starting to feel it, and when he does, you're in trouble. That's a slow closeout by Alfonso Plummer, and then Plummer gets caught down low. And Joe, why is this important? Alfonso Plummer can't. He goes for that steal. That's a high gamble, high risk play. And if you don't get that steal, forget it on the backside. You have no choice but to foul him.
So 5 in a row for Keegan Murray, part of this 7-0 Iowa run. He's got 6 straight, and the lead is back to 7. 19-3 run answered by an 8-0 run.
Iowa had their senior night at Carver Hawkeye Arena last week against Northwestern, and it might have been Keegan Murray's as Coleman Hawkins gets an easy one to go. It's nice. It seems like everything for Illinois has been just a struggle. No easy buckets. That's nice for Coleman Hawkins to get one to go down. Well, I was talking about Keegan Murray in his senior year.
Ooh, Chris Murray knocks it down. Cockburn's back in the game. They waste no time feeding him. And he's promptly fouled as we look back at that Chris Murray 3.
He is a big second half scorer. He had 11 points in the second half against Michigan their last game. At Ohio State, Chris had all 11 points that he scored in the second half. So I don't know what it is about Chris, but he goes into halftime and he drinks some super juice or something and he comes out ready to go.
29 over the last 2 games for Chris Murray on 13 out of 16 from the field. Here's Plummer. There's 3. 15 for Alfonso Plummer.
That's a defensive mistake there by Keegan. You know who you're guarding. He got caught ball watching.
Perkins got blocked. Cockburn comes up with that one.
If you're going to come strong, you got to go into the body. You cannot avoid contact with Kofi. He's not a big shot blocker, but if you just put it on a platter, he can.
Murray bullies his way inside, can't finish. Perkins there to clean it up.
He gets all the 50-50 balls, doesn't he? I mean, he's not that tall, but man, he is tough. And it seemed like Illinois, that shot goes up, and they were all assuming that Kofi Cockburn was going to come down with that basketball.
They feed him here, and he gets it to rattle home with the foul.
I don't think there was a foul here. In real time, I did not see a foul. He goes straight up with that. Oh, there is a little bit of a bump. Yep, in the air. I didn't see that in the first time. I should trust the officials, Joe. I don't want to be an official at all.
They get Chris Murray, and that's his third, putting Kofi Cockburn at the line. 1 point shy of 20 again.
Again, yeah. I mean, it's so rare to me to watch Kofi Cockburn play, a rare player of his size. Did you know that there are 104 7-footers in Division I?
Wow.
So he's not that unique in that regard. There's actually 9 7-footers in the Big Ten Conference, but he is unique because of the way he moves and the way he has developed his skill set over his 3 years in Champaign. Not a lot of people that look and play the game of basketball like Kofi Cockburn does.
And you might be 7 foot, but you're probably not put together like that at 285.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's...
There's a lot of 7-footers who are spindly.
Peyton Sanford has hit all 3 of his shots.
And all of them have been guarded, contested, but he's a scorer.
Freshman out of Hawkeyes, Iowa. Reigning freshman, or reigning high school player of the year in the state of Iowa. One of many contributors off of the bench in this game tonight. 7-point lead for the Hawkeyes. Out of the corner, Melendez has his first bucket. After missing 3 games following the emergency appendectomy, into the scoring column, cutting it to 4.
He's got some talent. They like his potential here in Champaign. Look at Trent Frazier, one of the best defensive players in the nation on the perimeter.
Up ahead, Hawkins able to corral it and save it into the corner. Kofi Cockburn into Rebracha, over the top, left it short, then got fouled.
Which is not normally how Brad Underwood would deliver that message, but after they got, when I say they, after Illinois annihilated Iowa on the boards in that first matchup, Joe, we are both surprised at how well Iowa has responded on the glass.
Iowa went, Casey, from -29 in the first meeting to +4 in this meeting. They lost that first game by 4. They lead this one. That is an offensive foul on Keegan Murray.
I like that. Puerto Rican flavor.
Yeah. There's that rebounding difference. You know, Iowa, I don't think, came into this game thinking they would win the rebounding battle. They just wanted to keep it close. But one of the phases they are so improved during this 8-1 stretch. Hawkins wanted Cockburn, but it sails over.
Oh, I mentioned it in the first half. Iowa is 18-0 this year when they out-rebound their opponent. This isn't a tall group, one of the shortest in the Big Ten. I mean, them along with Ohio State is not a very tall group, but they are scrappy, they're fighting.
Keegan Murray against Hawkins. Now Tony Perkins having a fantastic night for the Hawkeyes, trying to get around Curbelo.
Walking forward. If he would have held his ground, that wouldn't have been a foul.
As this year has gone on, and boy, on the doorstep of his first career double-double, although an 0 for 2 on this trip to the line.
13 points, 9 rebounds. And how about this? 4 of the 9 rebounds for Tony Perkins are on the offensive end of the floor. That's from a perimeter player.
Curbelo pulls.
The entire defense collapsed around Kofi. It looked like he had 4 black shirts surrounding him.
Murray going baseline over Hawkins, left it short. Hawkins ripped down the rebound, his 9th. Here comes Trent Frazier. They get it into Cockburn, promptly surrounded, finds Hawkins, who's alone, and misses the dunk. Murray, a great catch and banks it in. Such good hands.
A big change of possession there. Instead of Illinois getting a dunk, maybe getting a crowd into it, getting a chance to set their defense, instead they're reeling.
And then Curbelo got around the defense, finished with the left hand. He's got 7.
Hunter Dickinson does not play in that game. He's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder. He was out with a stomach issue, and I thought that they were going to be in big trouble. That was not the case. Devontae Jones, their point guard, was awesome.
Keegan Murray tried to take Coleman Hawkins to the bucket, couldn't lay it in. Good defense from Hawkins. 4-point game with 8.5 left.
This is going to be a cross screen for Kofi. Just throw it to him, see what they do. Are they going to double?
One-on-one with Chris Murray. The double comes late, and it's a foul.
What's interesting is the double team came from Toussaint, who was on the strong side. He was guarding Andre Curbelo, who was the passer, I believe, or if he wasn't the passer, he was the next guy over. Normally, double teams come from the baseline side or the opposite side.
So does it lead you to believe it's more dictated by who you're doubling off of?
Who you're doubling off of, absolutely. So they have designated Andre Curbelo as the guy. If you're guarding Curbelo, the ball goes into Kofi Cockburn, you go and double team.
Curbelo's a 19% three-point shooter this year, so you understand why that would be the decision. Can't hit the free throw, though. Cockburn 3 of 6 at the foul line today. Joe Toussaint lost his footing, that's a travel.
And when you're as fast as Joe Toussaint, sometimes you go so fast, it's hard to slam on the e-brake. And he saw Coleman Hawkins about to tee off. And Fran is a little frustrated. His team's still got a lead on the road. They're in a good spot. If you would have told Fran McCaffrey, hey, with 8 minutes to go in the second half, you're up 4, would you take it? He would.
No question. As they try to win their 6th in a row. They're 9th out of their last 10 to finish off the regular season. Sanford got his hand on that bullet of a pass from Curbelo.
On a neutral floor, a hard time believing somebody's going to take down the Wildcats.
Here in Champaign, a lot at stake. Iowa trying to wrap up the 4 seed in a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. Illinois would share the conference championship with Wisconsin with a win. Curbelo streaks inside and scores with the foul. Boy, we've said it a couple times and say it again. You live with some of the recklessness because he does things like this.
He's an artist, and if you want him to paint a masterpiece, you have to allow him to spill a little bit of paint, right? He does at times just get loose with the basketball. He tries to force passes that aren't there, but you give him some space and a little bit of runway, and he can score either hand. Pretty impressive.
Sophomore out of Puerto Rico cuts it to 1. Chris Murray dribbling against Kofi Cockburn. A 3, short.
Really nice individual defense from Kofi Cockburn. I would say, you know, I don't want to overreact, but last year I'm not sure he could have been making those plays and been comfortable guarding on the three-point arc.
19 and 13. Hawkins for the lead. Got it.
Well, he was just 1 for his last 9 from 3.
Bodies crashing to the floor.
And here again, Kofi on the perimeter.
Called for the foul as Chris Murray tried to drive by him. 1 and 1 coming for Chris Murray as we look back at Coleman Hawkins' go-ahead triple.
Yeah, just a simple play, a pick and pop. So kind of a double screen. Kofi rolls to the basket, and he draws 2 defenders. And Coleman Hawkins steps into one. Just 26% on the season from deep.
We're going to have a bunch of free throws down the stretch here. Both teams in the bonus at the 6:44 mark. Illinois is in the double bonus already. This is Chris Murray, who earns the second.
And still, the two oldest players, the point guards of each respective team in this matchup, have yet to even make a real offensive scoring impact in this one. And I'm talking about Jordan Bohannon and Trent Frazier. Just one basket combined between those two old guys.
Yeah, Bohannon's still scoreless and didn't play a ton in the first half because of foul trouble. Just hasn't been effective when he's been out there in the second. Tried to enter it to Cockburn. Great anticipation from Chris Murray to get the steal.
Really nice job pulling that ball out, Chris Murray.
Thought about three. Now tries to drive against Cockburn, who stuck with him. Tony Perkins playing one of his best games. 5 to shoot. Murray does. Around and out, and Curbelo there for the board.
That spacing there for Iowa. There was no real room to operate on the drives. Guys were standing too close together.
Curbelo and Frazier both in the game for Illinois. 5 and 1. Curbelo controlling, giving room, fires away, off the heel.
Early shot there. That was supposed to be a back screen for Kofi Cockburn.
Keegan Murray puts Iowa back in front. 21 for Murray and a 2-point lead for the Hawkeyes.
It's really difficult to guard this Iowa team in transition, especially because they fan out with shooters.
Back into Cockburn, star against star. These guys have performed at their peak. Tied again. Ulis hurries it up the floor, gets his pocket picked by Curbelo. Feels the defender on him, skips to the lane.
Oh!
Wow, that ball went in, but they say foul on the floor.
And Curbelo's going to take a seat in the stands next to the Orange Crust. Obviously, if this were in the NBA, this would have been a continuation. In college, they're not as liberal with this call. But watch, he picked up his dribble. He picked up his dribble, then got fouled. To me, that is an and one.
Instead, with the double bonus, it'll be 2 shots for Curbelo.
Andre Curbelo at the line for the Illini, shooting 2.
76% on the season. He's made his one attempt today. And he's got Illinois back in front.
Now they're still trying to work Andre Curbelo back into the rotation. Remember, he's missed 14 total games because of concussion and COVID issues. And he was their starter. And I actually feel like it may be a blessing in disguise for Andre and this Illinois team to have him kind of come off the bench. I think might be a better fit in the NCAA tournament.
They trailed this game by 15. They now lead by 2, under 5 left. Here's Jordan Bohannon back in the game. 3 for the Hawkeyes without a point today. Murray on the deck. Bounces underneath for Perkins. He kicks it out. And now a baseline drive from Perkins here in the second meeting. The rebounding, which was dominated by Illinois, even. The turnovers, which was dominated by Iowa, even. The score, 69-67 with 4.5 left. Been a quiet day for Trent Frazier. Gives it to Plummer and gets it back. Inside Cockburn. The double comes through the hands of Hawkins. Keegan Murray thought about 3. Now fire it up there, thinking that he was going to get a foul. Under 4 now in a 2-point game. A win, and Illinois shares the conference crown with Wisconsin. Plummer trying to get free. McCaffrey sticks with him. Here comes Hawkins. Boy, he's been huge in this second half.
And his best move off the bounce is going to the right and pulling up for that floater. We saw it twice in the Penn State game just a few nights ago.
Murray around and out. Curbelo there for the board. Illinois leading by multiple possessions for the first time in this half. For the first time since it was 5-0. Curbelo.
An All-American team in return. Most of those guys are off to the NBA.
Andre Curbelo knocks down the first here. Both these guys eligibility remaining. Everybody figures Keegan Murray is going to be a first-round pick. There are still questions about Kofi Cockburn and how his game translates to the next level. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining, although walked as part of the Senior Day festivities today. It's a 6-point lead, largest of the game for the Illini.
Really nice defense there. They isolated. They wanted that matchup. Chris Murray against Kofi, and the big man held up.
Back to Chris Murray against Kofi Cockburn. Shot clock down to 5. Murray got him off his feet and drew the foul. Played a good game, but he's been no sure thing at the line. He's now 1 for 5. Best free throw shooting team in the Big Ten behind just Ohio State. But they've missed 8 of them today.
Yeah, I mean, free throws is a big part of Fran McCaffrey in this Iowa offense. Coming into the game, Joe, Iowa had made 446 free throws. That ranked 26th in the nation. You combine that with three-point shooting. Man, he missed all 3.
1 for 7 at the line today, Chris Murray. And it stays a 6-point game with 2.5 left. Curbelo. Wow. Offensive foul completely out of control.
He doesn't really have a plan here. He's trying to whip a left-handed pass around the defense to Trent Frazier. That would have taken a miracle to complete that one. Again, the Curbelo experience is fun, but it's wild.
Perkins working against Curbelo. Takes him to the rim, draws the foul, and will shoot 2. Hey, even Perkins struggling at the line today. The foul, by the way, was the 4th on Curbelo. Perkins misses another. That's 4 missed free throws for the Hawkeyes on the last 2 trips.
Hard to win on the road like this.
In the hands of the 5-year starter on his senior day, Trent Frazier. 2 minutes to go in a 5-point game. Here comes Frazier, long 3, left it short. Good rebound from Perkins against Cockburn. Keegan Murray backing down on Coleman Hawkins. The Big Ten's leading scorer got blocked by Cockburn. A tie-up. Frazier. And now Curbelo. Down to 10 on the shot clock.
That's the back screen from Plummer here.
Curbelo goes behind his back. And they're going to inbound with 4 on the shot clock. Frazier penetrates, kicks. Hawkins, did he get it off?
Tony Perkins has been awesome as well, creating shots, but he's only 2 for 6 from the foul line.
He's got it here. He gets by Curbelo, hops into the lane, and the foul. He's got this one in a 2-point game with 1:01 left.
Tony Perkins likes playing against Illinois. He had 16 in the first matchup. He's got 17 in this one.
1 minute remaining.
So here we go, under a minute as Frazier brings it up. And now Plummer, Alfonso Plummer, short with a jumper. Williams the backside rebound, as he's so often been in his Illinois career. Right time, right spot.
I was wondering if he could have just gone right back up with that and scored on the layup.
8 on the shot clock. Frazier around to Cockburn screen, splits the D, high off the glass, no. Iowa's got it with a shot clock off, down 2.
Do not settle for a 3-point shot here.
They can have the last shot if they want it. Here's Bohannon, scoreless today. Murray straight away, got fouled. Keegan Murray Wow. One more for Keegan Murray. 1 out of 3.
Illinois is going to run the football play.
Williams inbounds to Frazier. Toussaint's on him. Iowa, the best team in the conference at getting steals. Timeout taken by Illinois. Frazier trying to get loose. Hawkins gets it into Williams, who will go to the line for 2 shots. Boy. Made the second. 2-point game with 10 seconds. Illinois 1 stop for a share of the Big Ten championship. Perkins. Murray. Chris Murray. 3-ball. No! Tipped around. That is it. Illinois shares the Big Ten title.